Reverend Crystal here with Universal Church of Light, Port Townsend, Washington. Our story continues with the Michael case, whereby many in the community in high places, I allege, conspired to steal this man's dog. I'm going to show you more on the Center Valley Animal Facebook page on the thread where I allege that they incited violence. They incited a riot. They set this man up to put a lien on his dog and take his dog as personal property through the courts. And 29 months later, they executed on this, which was October 1st. This all started around May 10th, 2019. And on October 1st, 2021, they executed on their plan through what I call fraud on the courts and abuse of the court process to steal this man's personal private property, his emotional support dog, and his family. And it was premeditated. So I've showed you a 6-part series of the Center Valley Animal Rescue thread that incited violence against Michael Allmain. Threatened to kill him, threatened to drag him behind a car, threatened to kill his dog, tell him his dog was killed and take it out of county. They met up at secret meetings, such as at the Bishop Hotel, which you'll see, to conspire against this man. They premeditated, they harassed, they stalked. And they did it for years. And now they've been able to use the Port Townsend criminal courts, the Port Townsend police, and the Port Townsend civil courts to execute on their well-intended plan. So this is a different thread. I have not done a video on these comments before. There will be graphic pictures of when Moses was first injured. They called him Rhodey because when they found him, they didn't know his name. Anyway, let's just leave that at that. So prepare yourself for injured dog pictures. Okay, so I was looking at when was the first time that Center Valley Animal Rescue, what did they first say to incite the violence? And so we're not looking at them in chronology. Right now, I'm creating a timeline, but I just want to show you comments that I hadn't showed you before. Okay, this was May 12th, 2019. The update on Rhodey in the last 24 hours, Rhodey has been taken from CVAR by the Jefferson County Humane Society. After 3 weeks of intensive care at CVAR, and against the written recommendations of both our veterinarian and CVAR director, Rhodey was needing bandages changed today, but that did not occur. We have been told now that the plan will be to return him to the man whose behavior has led to his current condition. Now remember, folks, it was an accident. He fell out of the vehicle. That story is told in many other places in my online reporting on this, okay? So this is, I assume it's Sarah, the director of Center Valley Animal Rescue, inciting a riot against these people with hearsay, with her own personal belief. Now, this is a very well-established animal rescue center in this county, Jefferson County, Washington. So they know a lot of people, and they have a lot of people that they can get on board with what their view is. And they made assumptions the dog was abused, assumptions the dog was tied to the back of the vehicle. All of this stuff was assumptions, and it was lies. Okay? Michael never had a chance to tell his story. And throughout the Center Valley Animal Rescue post, you'll see where people are talking to Michael. That's because Michael answered every allegation to the best of his ability to stop the insightful riot of violence and vigilante actions towards him. But Center Valley Animal Rescue removed Michael's side. I call him, he's the defendant, he's the victim, he's the owner of the property. They removed his side of the story viciously and with intent to harm. Okay, so against the written, we've been told now that the plan will be to return him to the man whose behavior led to his current condition. They have no idea who had the dog, who put him in the back of the truck. They just say it's his fault. And life-threatening truck dragging, okay? So Center Valley Animal Rescue is the judge and the jury. Okay, they didn't get what they wanted in 2019, so they plotted a plan, which you'll see is premeditated. Over and over, you'll see their intent. And they went after this man's dog and property, which they just executed October 1st as a declaratory judgment in Judge Keith Harper, Superior Court, Jefferson County. Okay, so she's not waiting for an investigation. She don't care. She's saying that it was a life-threatening truck dragging, okay? He fell out. He hit the road. If he was drugged, it might have even been worse than this. I've seen worse. Yes, this looks horrific, but I have seen dogs jump out of vehicles and be really mangled and all broken up, okay? She incited violence against this man. She incited a whole bunch of people to steal his personal property. And all of these people ganged up on him for 29 months, and they finally won through what I call abusive process and fraud on the courts in Port Townsend, Jefferson County, Washington. Okay. We've been told now that the plan will be to return him to the man whose behavior has led to his current condition and life-threatening truck dragging injuries that we've been treating. We are devastated. It's not your dog. Okay? 3 weeks of safety with CVAR, and now his future is uncertain. His owner, yes, his owner, his private property he paid for, he raised. He had been breeding Moses, right? $700 for each puppy. Now they're like $800 to $2,000. Okay, they deprived him of this. I don't know why all these waves are in here. It's kind of interesting. I wonder if I put more light on something, if it'll... Anyway, it's pretty disturbing. So you can see in May of 2019, they were really like taking control. They really had their emotions and everything they could in convicting this man. Okay, 3 weeks of safety with CVAR, and now his future's uncertain. His owner is trying to raise funds by selling things on Facebook for his impound fee. Okay, so Michael owns the dog. It's his property. It's his commercial property, his income-producing property, his emotional support animal, his best friend, his family. Okay? So yeah, he was raising money to try to get his dog because he didn't have any money. It seems pretty logical, but they vilify him for it, okay? And this could happen to any one of you at any time. They just covet your dog and they go for it, and they use the courts to do it. And they use police to do it. You'll see how this all plays out. Okay, his owner's trying to raise funds by selling things on Facebook for his impound fee. Okay, personal private information, I mean, not if it's on Facebook, but just how vindictive, right? How will he ever afford the vet care still needed? Okay, so they show intent here that they know that he can't afford vet care, right? So the plot's in the works. Our veterinarian, as well as Sarah, our director, okay, so that implies that Sarah's not actually the one posting it. So it's their Facebook, it's someone else, okay? Our director had both written letters advising against this highly stressful move, as well as, animals, aren't they less stressed when they're with their owners? You'll see where the Jefferson County Humane Society, it looks like, probably you'll see in this video because I just saw it, where they said how well Moses was doing and that Michael brought him in and everything. And so it's the viciousness of the Center Valley Animal Rescue vigilante mob that was the problem. And the authorities in the county and the cops and everybody that conspired with them in the name of loving animals and hate and vilify the man. And they got this wrong, and they ruined this man's life and took his dog and his personal property. And they seem to have won. But they're definitely going to get transparency, and I'm going to show you guys how all this works. Okay, so they're all devastated. Okay, yeah, so was the owner, is his dog. Okay, this highly stressful move, advising on all of the care that is going to be needed for Rhodey's future rehabilitation. Our letters were ignored. We are hoping that the prosecuting attorney and sheriff's office can intervene on Monday, tomorrow, before Rhodey's condition deteriorates and his owner regains possession of this precious animal. It's his precious animal. Help us get Rhodey back to safety. Please call a prosecuting attorney. So they're inciting the public to call against this guy that they've accused of dragging with just on hearsay. Okay? I say that this is inciting violence on this man, inciting a riot against him. People were gang stalking him. People were following him. People were trying to let Moses out of the car many times so that the police would get him. They were harassing him. They were mentally tormenting him. The mental anguish is off the charts. And I will easily prove when we get in the right court what they did to torment him and his family. Okay? And they removed his side of the story. These people are vicious, and they were enabled by prosecuting attorney Melissa Plyman, prosecuting attorney Miss St. Marie, they kept calling her. Okay? Officer Wendy Davis, and all the other people that I allege are co-conspirators. All right, so let's see what the people have to say. Yeah, it's a horrific photo. And like I said, I have seen worse. It was an accident. He did not... If he'd have tied him to the truck and drug him, he'd have looked a lot worse than that. Okay, I've seen this stuff. I'm from rural Montana. This stuff happens, okay? These will heal. Okay, and so so the newspaper reports an article. Okay, let's just stop that last one, actually, for that thread and just leave it at that. Okay, stay tuned. Go to... I might load this on my YouTube channel, but just know that I don't want to take a chance of this stuff getting taken out. Like happened before, I had a whole bunch of videos about this case, and my YouTube channel got shut down because of other political freedom of speech censoring. And I don't want that to happen to these, so I'm putting them on my Rumble channel. And so I might link that in the description. I might forget. So you would go to, it's Michael Allman Fights for His Dog, but the Rumble channel, my Rumble channel is called MichaelAllmainCase. Okay, so, yeah, I was going to show you that again, but I'm going to try to link this in the description. Okay, yeah, I'll look at it later. Okay, so you can email me, reverendcrystalcox@gmail.com, if you would like a link to any of the stuff that I've mentioned. Like I said, on Rumble is going to be the videos on this. I'm doing a chronology of everything that happened, and it's going to be over months because they finally executed on what I call their fraud on the courts and abuse of the courts and their premeditated theft of this man's personal valuable property and emotional support dog. It's not okay what they did. I allege that it's a crime, and I'm going to prove that. And the reason I'm doing this is to give a voice to people who don't have a voice, to try to make people aware that humans have rights too. So they don't look at the teeth of humans. They don't look that the homeless are freezing in the tents. They don't look to feed the homeless or help them. They just vilify, and they protect the animals, and in a vigilante justice way. And through this story, you'll be able to see clearly the vigilante justice that played out in this case. So I'm going to do another video on the Port Townsend Leader in the comments there. I went to the Center Valley Animal Facebook page and searched for the name Allmain, Allmain. Or you can search for Moses. They still have all their incriminating evidence up, which I guess at this point, maybe if they take it down, they'll feel they incriminated. But they deleted Michael's side, so they've already done it. So stay tuned. Check the description for a link to my Rumble channel on this, or you can Google it. I also have new blogs, officerwendydavis.blogspot.com, Adam P. Karp, and Karp is spelled KARP.blogspot.com. And I have a Michael and Moses Facebook page, and this will all be put in a living book that'll probably end up being thousands of pages, and then a regular book at some point too. And that'll happen over the next, I don't know, few months or even the next year. The story's the same. What happens next is obvious too. So we'll talk about that later. So stay tuned for the next video on the comments and the inciting of a riot and the intent to harm and steal, I allege. Stay tuned and make up your own mind. Bye for now.